it's Shel C from PaperOcotilloStudio, and today I'm sharing with you day 49 of my mixed media collage pieces. This is a 5x7 canvas panel, and I've been making them for the 100 Days project, and so this one is actually day 49, which was yesterday, and I didn't get the video edited until today. Yeah, things have been going crazy around here. Spring has sprung. Happy spring, everyone. So I started out by using my Gesso Magic tool to apply some chalky finish deco art paint. This is an acrylic paint that's supposed to dry down matte. It's basically the same thing as black gesso. I mean, black gesso is matte and it covers in one coat. So this is pretty much the same type of stuff. It's just called chalky finish, and I have a few of them, and I figured I would want to try them out. So I need to dry that, so I'm giving it a little bit of space from my silicone mat because I don't want to warp my silicone mat. And I did the other one. I'm not sure why it's got bumps in it, and I'm not sure it's from heat, but yeah, I just put a paper plate underneath so there's a little bit of space in between and getting this thing real dry before I move on to the next step. I have a couple different products that I'm going to try. I got some Core, which is the Golden brand, watercolor ground, and then I also got some absorbent medium, and I just wanted to try them, although I haven't tried the absorbent medium, but this one is the Core watercolor ground, and I thought it was going to be clear, but it turns out it's white, which is fine. It just surprised me when I first opened it. I think I opened it a different day and tried it on a different project, but yeah, it's white, like white gesso. I don't know. It's weird, but anyway, maybe it does come in clear, and I just got the wrong thing. When you're online shopping, I just had ordered my groceries. Yesterday, went to pick up my groceries. I started to put them away and realized that the water bottles that I ordered were tiny, like half-size water bottles when we usually get the normal size, 12-ounce ones. We don't use them that often, but I do keep water bottles in the fridge just in case we go hiking or something. And yeah, they're half the size, and online it just looks the same, right? So when you order something online, you never know. I mean, you read the description, but it still doesn't maybe translate. I also usually get 2-pound packages of the 93% fat-free whatever hamburger, and it comes in a 2-pound package. But the ones I got yesterday that were in my bag were 1-pound packages. So I guess I need to pay better attention. So anyway, perhaps the Core watercolor ground comes in a clear, and I just got the white one for whatever reason. But I think what it's supposed to do is make an absorbent surface on any surface. So I'm going over this chalky finish, and then I wanted these spots that would absorb water-soluble media. That was my idea. What ended up happening probably had nothing to do with the watercolor ground. This could have easily just been, gesso. I could have just used my super heavy gesso that I like to use for this type of thing. But I put it through a stencil, and I got out these some different products. These little bottles are acrylic ink. And I went and put watercolor ground on and then should have used watercolor, right? I don't know what I was thinking. I was just messing around. I wanted to play with something, and I wanted to try something. And so I ended up getting these acrylic inks out and doing a little bit of dripping over the top. And because it's acrylic, it's of course going to change the color of the acrylic paint underneath. It's not a watercolor. Why didn't I grab some watercolor? I don't know. But I like how it turned out regardless. And I am spraying a lot of water on there to make the acrylic ink run and, drip and be interesting anyway. So I don't know. I need to do an experiment with the watercolor ground that uses watercolor. And I will. It'll come up eventually. But if you don't play And if you don't get out stuff and try doing different things with it, you aren't going to learn anything, right? You know, you can follow the directions. Oh, this is watercolor ground, so you should use it with watercolor. You could do that. Of course you can. But you can also try it with other stuff. And I did. I tried it with acrylic ink. So I have kind of a terracotta, peachy pink color, and then also some light blue and some yellowy green colors. And these are Sennelier Abstract ink. It's called abstract. I don't know why. It's not particularly abstract. It's just acrylic ink, but the name of it is abstract. I think they have a whole line of products called abstract, and they've got paints and different stuff in that line. And this just happens to be the acrylic inks. I'm kind of obsessed with acrylic ink. I like it. I have several different brands. I've got Liquitex. I've got some Matisse in colors that were designed by a specific artist. I've got these, and I probably will buy more. I like having all the colors, and there are a lot of colors. So I just continue putting some drips on there, spraying down with my water bottle and getting it to kind of run and drip and spread out and picking up all the excess onto a paper towel. Sometimes those paper towels turn into collage material because they've got all the pretty colors on them. Sometimes they turn into yucky, muddy colors, of course, because you're putting so many different colors on there, but sometimes they turn out really pretty. So once that's all dry, I decide I really want to accent the stencil design. And the stencil design was circles that were divided by lines. But when I used the silicone tool to put on the watercolor ground through the stencil, the watercolor ground isn't really like a molding paste or a thick gesso or anything. It's looser than that. So it went under the stencil, and I didn't really care. I can still see the lines, but they aren't super obvious as if I had used a different type of product. And so I decided to take these King Art brand gel sticks crayons. They're like watercolor crayon type in a gel format, similar to something like a gelato, if you've tried those before. I also think they're probably exactly like the Marabou brand gel sticks because of the shape and everything. I think that they are probably manufactured for King Art by Marabou, but don't quote me on that. I just think that because they look exactly like it. And apparently some people have been able to find these in their local store. Like I think someone said they got them at Ross. And I think someone else said that they saw them at Tuesday morning. So I bought them in the middle of the night online on Instagram because sometimes that happens. I wake up and Instagram advertises something at me and I'm like, oh, 64 colors. I want that. And then I click the clicker and that's what happens. And I know I'm not the only one because I've said this before and other people have piped up that they do the same thing. So I know it's not just me. So I'm just putting these colors, different colors that I pick. And there's a lot of colors. That's why I like this gel stick watercolor crayon set because I have a lot of colors. And I'm putting the bright ones in the quadrants of where, the stencil divided the circles up and then blending them a little bit with my finger. They're creamy like lipstick. They're not crumbly at all or waxy. They're pure creamy stuff. And so they're fun. I have a lot of these types of products and I definitely have some favorites that I think are the best ones. I've added these to my stack of favorite ones. I like them a lot. So I've been having fun with them. They're different than my other favorite, which is the Neocolor 2 water-soluble crayons. Those are very, very pigmented and kind of opaque in some cases. And they're more, you really need the water to dissolve them. These are just more like lipstick. So you can just smear it with your fingers. And it's just two completely different effects of two products that probably would seem to be the same, but they're not at all the same. They're very different. And so I'm having a lot of fun with these new ones that I bought in the middle of the night. So after I was done putting on my color quadrants, I took the black and I'm just making like kind of some random shadowy circles around the outsides. These are raised up from the background because yeah, that watercolor ground stuff isn't as thick as a molding paste or something, but it still made a raised surface on there. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I actually kind of wanted to just leave it like that because I thought it was cool. And then I said to myself, you know what? It's mixed media collage, and you did not do any collage. What are you going to do? You got to glue something on there. So I decided a circle because the whole motif on this thing is circles, right? And then I thought that my circle probably needed to be divided up like these circles in the background and slightly larger to make just a focal point. And I thought, how do I make this more interesting? And then I thought to myself, self, you should use some flakes. And I said, okay. So I got the copper, these are metallic flakes, um, like gilding. Sometimes it can come in a sheet and you glue the whole sheet down and then pull it up. Or in this case, these probably came in a canister. They're just metal, really thin, thin, very light metal. And I decided to use the copper ones because there was a lot of these warm colors, and I also like copper a lot. So I didn't use the glue that you're probably supposed to use it with. I used a glue stick and put a lot of glue stick down on my little circle that I'd cut out from a piece of packaging from something, and I'm just burnishing it with my fingers, rubbing off the excess, and making basically what ends up being a copper circle. And, you know, this stuff is messy. And I have it in Ziploc bags because somebody shared it with me. So I don't have the original packaging it came in, but I know it was like a clear plastic canister that it came in because I've seen it before. I just happened to have it in Ziploc bags instead. And I have gold and I think silver and copper and maybe another kind of gold. There's a couple different, like maybe one's brass and one's gold or something. I don't know. Anyway, it's fun stuff. And so I went ahead and took my little circle, and then I thought to myself, see, I talk to myself a lot while I'm in my studio. I want it to not lose its shininess because it's metal, it's metallic, it's supposed to be shiny. And so I decided to use Deco Art Triple Thick varnish. I thought what I grabbed was the glossy medium because medium comes in matte and glossy and satin sometimes, which is kind of in between. And I always use the matte because I really don't like things to be shiny. Just not a big shiny glossy person. But in this case, I wanted the metallic flake to stay looking like metal. And so I grabbed what I thought was going to be glossy medium, which ended up being varnish. And it's the triple thick from Deco Art, which is a really nice varnish if you're going to seal something. Maybe this application wasn't the best for it, but I wasn't going to go looking for the gloss medium that I hardly ever use because I don't know where it is. So, and I'm lazy, I don't get up. So I decided to use this. So then I realized that if I was going to put something glossy where the metal circle is, I needed to put it all over. And the reason that I decided that I really didn't like what was going on with this triple thick, it is very thick. It's thick, is that as I was trying to brush it on, it was moving the gel stick. So the gel stick got a little bit smeary and didn't look as cool as it did when I first put it down. But I did add a lot of little flakes of the metal everywhere, not just on the circle, and that turned out really good. So I like the result of what happened, but I should have used something different. I should have used just the thinner glossy medium if I, could find it. because this is thick, as I was dragging the brush across, the thick stuff was dragging along with it and dragging the medium underneath. Another option was to take it outside and spray it before I put this layer on, and that would have been smart. I could have gone and sealed the whole thing with spray, because when you put spray on, it doesn't smear because it's spray. It just sprays right into the spot and stays. There's no dragging motion. And so I could have sealed this all up before I ever even went to the metallic flake. And that's what I should have done. So don't do as I do. Don't be lazy and unwilling to get up from your chair and go do something, and just go seal it first before you put the metallic flake and the gloss medium on, or the in this case the triple thick glossy stuff. But it did work. It's just a little bit smearier than I wanted. That's all. The stick didn't stay where I wanted it to stay. Still looks cool, and there's a lot of, it's shiny and has a lot of little bits of metal in it and looks pretty cool. So anyway, that's day 49, which was, I think, yesterday. I think today's day 50 and I haven't made anything yet. So I do need to go do that. Yeah, today's Sunday, isn't it? Day 50. 50, halfway through. So if you did like it, please remember to give it a thumbs up. Leave me a comment or question below. Subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on your notification bells if you want to know when there's a fresh new video. Share this on your social media. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.